There are moments when you feel unseen, unnoticed, like your silent sacrifices meant nothing. You gave when it cost you everything. You prayed when no one prayed for you. You showed up with strength, even when you were breaking inside. And maybe, just maybe, you thought heaven forgot. But listen carefully. Heaven saw it all. That help you gave? That moment you stretched your hand when no one was watching? It wasn't small. It wasn't random. It was celestial. You weren't just helping a person. You were fulfilling a divine assignment. And now, brace yourself. Because the harvest coming your way is not just a reward. It's not just a blessing. It is supernatural, uncommon, unpredictable, unstoppable. Stay with me until the end. Because what God is about to do in your life will leave you speechless. And when it happens, you'll remember this moment. You'll remember this word. Tap that like button and comment 99 if you know heaven has been keeping score. 99 because God leaves the 99 to chase after one. And today, that one is you. Let's go deeper. You thought it was just a kind gesture, a moment of compassion, a decision made in silence. But what if I told you that very moment was orchestrated in the throne room of heaven? You see, the chosen ones don't move like the world. They don't act for applause. They don't give to be seen. They are led by the Spirit, not by the flesh. That unexpected phone call you made to someone on the verge of giving up. That meal you paid for when no one thanked you. That seed you sowed while your own hands were empty. That wasn't an accident. It was an assignment. And the world might have missed it. They didn't notice. They didn't clap. They didn't repost it on Instagram. But guess who did? Heaven did. Matthew 6:3-4 says, "When you give, do not let your left hand know what your right hand is doing. Then your Father, who sees what is done in secret, will reward you openly." Did you catch that? Done in secret. Rewarded in public. Every unnoticed sacrifice, every quiet act of love. Every moment you chose obedience over recognition, heaven wrote it down. Because when you moved, it wasn't just an action. It was a signal in the Spirit. It was obedience to a divine frequency only the chosen ones can hear. You may not have felt it at the time, but angels were dispatched because of what you did. Chains were broken because you showed up. A soul was preserved because you didn't ignore the whisper of God. And now, that divine echo is returning to you. Multiplied, intensified, sanctified. But here's what most people don't know. Some of the help you gave activated something so rare, so sacred, that even the enemy has tried to delay your reward. Yes, there's a reason why the breakthrough has taken time. And it has nothing to do with punishment, but everything to do with something even greater that's been building behind the scenes. What is it? Why the delay? What's coming next? Hold on, you're about to find out, and it will shake everything. There's something you need to understand about the seed you sowed. It didn't fall to the ground. It wasn't wasted. It wasn't ignored. It was planted, strategically, into heavenly soil. And that changes everything. Because not all soil is the same. Not all generosity bears the same fruit. But when a chosen one moves from a place of pure obedience, something divine begins to activate beneath the surface. You didn't give because you had extra. You gave because the Spirit whispered, "Do it now." And you obeyed, without needing applause, without needing a reason, without even knowing what would come of it. But here's the mystery. That seed wasn't natural. It was spiritual. And what is planted in the spiritual realm doesn't die. It multiplies. Galatians 6:7 says, "For whatever a man sows, that he will also reap." But here's what most people forget. When a seed is planted in kingdom soil, the laws of earth no longer apply. Time bends, return accelerates. And the harvest that comes is unlike anything you can produce with human effort. You didn't just sow kindness. You sowed obedience. You sowed trust. You sowed sacrifice. And that seed didn't just touch one life. It rippled through generations. It reached places you'll never see, unlocked doors you didn't know were closed, and provoked a harvest that doesn't just restore what you gave. It overwhelms. It overtakes. It overflows. This is not a small return. This is not addition. This is divine multiplication. But here's what most people never realize. Some seeds carry delayed manifestation on purpose. Not because God forgot, but because what's growing underground is too big to surface prematurely. That's what's happening now. Your seed has been hidden, incubated, not buried, but planted. And just when the enemy thought nothing was coming from it, just when you started questioning if it even mattered, the soil began to shake. Something is pushing upward, and what breaks through next will not be small, quiet, or explainable. Stay right there, because in the next moment, I'll show Kai you why your delay has been the disguise of your deliverance. You've waited longer than you ever thought you would. You've prayed prayers that echoed back with silence. You've stood in rooms full of people and still felt invisible. You've sowed in tears and wondered if joy would ever come. But let me tell you something. Heaven has been shouting over your life. Delayed does not mean denied. Your blessing was never canceled. It was scheduled, and not according to your clock, but according to God's divine calendar. Isaiah 60:22 says, "At the right time, I, the Lord, will make it happen." Let that sink in. Not at your time, not at their time, at His time. Because what God is preparing requires more than just your desire. It requires your development. See, sometimes what you're waiting for is so weighty, so holy, so explosive in the spirit, that if it came too soon, it would crush you instead of crown you. God wasn't just working on your blessing. He was working on you. That season where doors wouldn't open, it wasn't rejection. It was redirection. It was protection. It was perfecting. And here's what makes this moment so sacred. While you were waiting, something was maturing. Something was aligning. Something in the heavens was shifting in your favor. But the enemy tried to lie to you in the silence. He whispered that your prayers were powerless, that your obedience didn't matter, that God had forgotten your name. He wanted you to give up right before the manifestation because he knew when heaven moves, it moves fast. And when God acts, he makes up for lost time. Years of silence can shift in a single second of divine intervention. Let me tell you this with every ounce of fire in my soul. You are closer than it looks. The delay wasn't punishment. It was positioning. God was setting the stage, clearing the path, and preparing the people you haven't even met yet. And now, there's a stirring in the spirit. The angels that have been standing guard are now on assignment. The time of waiting is transitioning into the time of witnessing. But what's coming next will require something from you. A posture, a readiness, a prophetic awareness. Because what's about to be released won't look like anything you've seen before. Stay right there. Because in the next breath, I'm going to reveal what kind of harvest is being unleashed. And why it's going to blow every human expectation out of the water. You thought the return would match the seed, but God never does math like man. He doesn't return in addition. He returns in multiplication. And what's coming to you now? It won't simply reflect what you gave. It will exceed it, immeasurably, undeniably, supernaturally. Deuteronomy 1:11 declares, "May the Lord, the God of your ancestors, increase you 1,000 times more and bless you as he has promised." 1,000 times more. Not 10, not 100, not just enough to cover what was lost, but a blessing so expansive, so outrageous, so heaven-backed, You'll stand in awe of your own life. Because here's the truth. You didn't just sow into a situation. You sowed into a spiritual contract. And that contract is now being activated. God is not just rewarding you. He is establishing you. He is turning what looked like struggle into a platform of supernatural demonstration. Doors you didn't knock on are about to swing open. People you never met are about to mention your name in rooms you've never entered. Favor is coming from directions you didn't even pray for. And the miracles? They're not coming one by one. They're coming like a flood. Because the season you're entering is not one where you chase blessings. It's a season where miracles chase you down. You'll find yourself in the right place, at the right time, for things you didn't even know were meant for you. Why? Because heaven is making up for time, loss, delay, betrayal, and pain. In one sweep, God is about to show you what it means to live under open heaven. But don't confuse this with compensation. No, this isn't payback. This is purpose activation. This is heaven saying, now I will show them who you are. So if you've been feeling something stirring in your spirit, if you've sensed a shift you couldn't explain, it's because your season just changed, even if your surroundings haven't caught up yet. But get ready, because in the final chapter of this message, you'll discover why you were never meant to be hidden forever, and why the next move of God will be public, prophetic, and impossible to deny. Stay locked in. It's about to get even deeper. In a world obsessed with headlines, God is still searching hearts. He's not impressed by performance. He's not moved by noise. He doesn't anoint based on image. He anoints based on intention. And you didn't give for recognition. You didn't serve for spotlight. You didn't show up for applause. You did it because you're chosen to reflect heaven on earth, chosen to obey when it was hard, chosen to carry light into the darkest spaces without ever needing a camera to prove it. 1 Samuel 16:7 says, "People look at the outward appearance, but the Lord looks at the heart." And when heaven looked at yours, heaven moved, Ittai. Wasn't your talent that made you dangerous. It wasn't your title that made you powerful. It was your posture, your purity, your yes, even when it cost you everything. What you did in private. That tear you wiped without being asked. That gift you gave when no one knew you were lacking yourself. That prayer you whispered when you felt completely empty. Those moments are what shifted atmospheres. That's what activated divine intervention. That's what caught the attention of heaven. And now, God is preparing to do something He loves to do with the faithful. He is about to take what was hidden in the shadows of obedience and reveal it in the spotlight of glory. This is not about ego. This is not about fame. This is about evidence. Evidence that when God selects someone, He does it His way. Evidence that He honors the hidden, that He promotes the humble, that He rewards the righteous, not in the eyes of man, but in the eyes of eternity. You're not about to be seen because you demanded it. You're about to be seen because God commanded it, and when it happens, when the elevation hits, it'll be so undeniable, so divine, so drenched in favor, that people will have no choice but to say, surely the hand of the Lord is upon them. But there's still one more revelation, and it's the key to walking into this harvest with boldness, clarity, and authority. What is it? Don't move. The final word is coming, and it will mark your spirit forever. Chosen one, hear this loud and clear. You were never just helping. You were never just giving. You were never just serving. You were planting heaven into the earth, and now, heaven is about to answer back. This isn't just a shift. This is a divine eruption, a supernatural response to every tear you cried in silence, to every yes you whispered through the pain, to every moment you chose obedience when comfort was calling your name. You're not stepping into a new season. You're stepping into your inheritance. The floodgates of favor are opening, not because you earned it, but because you were trusted with the weight of obedience. Doors are about to open without keys. Hearts are about to recognize your anointing. Battles are about to end with sudden victory. And hear me now. This is only the beginning. What's ahead of you is bigger than what's behind you. The anointing on your life is about to speak louder than every lie spoken against you. You were hidden for a reason. Now you rise for a purpose. So rise with power. Rise with fire. Rise like the chosen one you are. If your spirit felt this word, drop this in the comments right now. I receive my harvest. Declare it, seal it, prophesy it. Then share this with another chosen one, someone who needs to know heaven saw everything. And don't forget to subscribe, because this movement, it's just getting started. Walk boldly, speak fearlessly, live prophetically. You are chosen, you are called, you are rising. Let the world watch, let heaven lead, and let your harvest begin.